Good afternoon on what is a mild, grey and overcast day. It is Thursday, February the 2nd. I'm in the reading it with a cat who's not ours and a nice hot cup of tea. And some games to unbox. This is Fluxx Remix. Okay, so the card game of ever-changing rules, now with surprises and all new goals. New rules change the way the game is played, actions shake up per turn, surprises can be played out of turn, collect the keepers shown on the current goal to win. So this is a card game published by Looney Labs, and it's surprising to think that this is several years old. This has got to be something like 20 years old or so in its original version, and it's designed for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, and the game can last 5 minutes or 30 minutes, although I have had a game go longer, especially if you put a couple of these decks together and really play through it. And Fluxx is a game which has gone through sort of like a bit of an evolution, starting with I think it was Martian Fluxx or Zombie Fluxx. They added keepers which would essentially prevent you from winning because you were forced to have them in front of you. But the original game didn't have those and was much more free-flowing. So let's have a look at this Fluxx Remix, which is basically a chance for the publisher to revisit the game, add some new cards, and make it play differently. Sorry, it's a cat who's not ours is wanting it first. So just me with him today. So let's get this open. Oh, okay, so what we have got in here is that. So you've got a Looney Labs a bit of a catalogue, changing the way you play, and that's just one of the boxes sets you can get. So theme boxes, so astronomy, nature, so there's educational fluxes there, lots of them, holiday flux, fairy tale flux, junior flux. Flux is for every fandom. So all is essentially the various different versions of Doctor Who, sort of Star Trek, Doctor Who, Firefly and so on, Monty Python, and all the other games. I'm not going to go through that, just to show you some of the other Fluxx options. And this is the rulebook. And you've got an executive summary up there. But it starts here with an overview, setup, Q goes first, typically the youngest player goes first, or the dealer goes first in this case, and play proceeds clockwise. And it's explaining the types of cards involved. You've got 4 types of cards: new rule, keeper, goal, action, turn sequence, sample game in progress, and how to win. All clearly explained, in a page. And then it's looking at, it does add another type of card on the back, and then it's got examples and so on of play. So you read through this and you can start playing this game in minutes. It's that simple. And then here are some additions you can add to it. I mean, the thing is, if it's got room on there for advertising, it pretty much covers the rules fairly deep in a fairly detailed manner. So the cards themselves start off like this. This is the first card you have, which is play one, draw one, play one. That's it. Don't need to know any more than that. But you have these cards which, for example, dreams and love. Brilliant, I've just dropped a whole lot on the floor. Thank you, cat. And I can't get them because he's sat on my lap. Chocolate and so on. The moon and so on. These are classic ones. And you really, essentially, what you are trying to do is match a goal. So if you have, for example, the keeper card, love, and the wedding in front of you, you win. And that's it. So, for example, Dark Side of the Moon, music plus the moon. So they're all thematic, televised launch, rocket and television. So that's quite, essentially those are the goals. You have those in front. If you have those on the table, if the goal, which is shared by everyone, is down in front of the table, and you have those two keepers in front of you at the same time, you win, whether it's your turn or not. Simple as that. So those are the goals. And you've got some more goals here. So let's just more of these out. So outer space, any two of the sun, the moon, or the cosmos. So you've got a few more goals. Then you have new rules. So these come into play, and they affect everyone until they're replaced. Okay. So you draw one, play one. You might play a new rule. So instead of drawing one, you're now drawing two, and that's everybody until that rule changes. Same again for draw three, draw five, and then, for example, play all. Play everything in your hand. So you have to play everything on your hand. Doesn't matter, and you think about what order you're going to play that in. So on. So essentially, you have a bonus for having a keeper in play. A love bonus, which gives you extra cards. And then beneath that, you have the actions. Now the actions, are what generally how you affect the game immediately through a card action. So the rules reset. That clears all the rules apart from that original draw one, play one. You say, draw three cards, play two of them, and so on. Trash a new rule. It takes one of the new rule cards off the table. You can trade hands with players. Rewind, go through the discard pile, find a new goal, an old goal that's already discarded, bring that back into play, and so on. So you've got a mix of the old and the new. Which way should I go? Name a keeper. All players must look in their hands for any goals that require the specific keeper you named. If they find any, they must give all such goals to you. If you gain no cards, drop. If you get the players don't give you any cards or can't give you any cards, you draw a card. So there's a variety of different new types of action cards in there. The rules resets, some of the classics, and so on. And then beneath that, you have a new type of card called the surprise. So they can be played. I think basically any. So just have a look to see what does it say about surprises. Well, presumably they can be played any time because they are surprises. Surprises can be played at any time, even if it isn't your turn. They have two functions: one for during your turn, one for out of turn. And surprises can also be used to impact, essentially, basically cancel another surprise. So you've got two options here. So, for example, cancel plan out of turn. Discard a goal that another player's just played, thus preventing possible victory. During your turn, discard the current goals. Also, all of the players must discard a goal or a random card from their hands. At any time, the card can also cancel another surprise. So essentially, this is an action card, but it's got multiple uses, and it can be played out. It is played out of turn. There's only 4 of them, But I mean, the thing is, that's mine, and veto, and stop that. I mean, the point is 4 of them, each of them having the 3 options, i.e., in turn, out of turn, and at any time, to cancel another surprise. Gives these a little bit more flexibility than your standard cards do. So 4 is probably enough for the moment. Hopefully, Looney Labs will do another pack of surprise cards or something like that. But the other thing this does is it doesn't include is creepers. Now, creepers is one of the things I kind of liked when they were in the Fluxx zombies and Martian Fluxx and so on, but they kind of clog up the game and make it doesn't. Essentially, they prevent you from winning. Essentially, you can have you can meet the winning conditions, but if you've got creepers on your in front of you, you can't win. You've got to get rid of them somehow. So it's not the fact that they stop they stop you from winning, but they sort of clog up the play because you're trying to give you something else to do and find another way of getting rid of them. This doesn't have those, so it's a return to the much more free-flowing, game of old, the original Fluxx, which is really, as it always was, a game about not necessarily strategic thinking, long-term thinking, because the circumstances will change from one turn to another. It's a game about adapting to, it's to the moment, getting the best out of your hand, what you've got, what you are forced to play. So it's in essence more tactical and more immediate than perhaps a lot of other card games. So yeah, that is. Yes, sorry, he's just looking at me adoringly. And he wants a fuss. That is. Fluxx Remix from Looney Labs. Now this is a game I thoroughly recommend because it's an absolute perfect filler. Most people have played it. A lot of people have played it by now, but there's still people who haven't, and you want to introduce this to them as sort of like as a perfect, good little card game that's different, that's thoughtful and interesting, and plays quickly, 5 minutes to 30 minutes, perfect. People do like playing this game. Anyway, that's Fluxx Remix, the classic card game of ever-changing states revisited, available now. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, do please click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box or a package usually containing a book or game, or in this case just a card game which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another unboxing the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.